Sorry about that. We have a technical difficulty. But
Okay. Okay, you're back. You're good.
this was a quick recovery, guys. This is one of the times that I have to actually jump the gun and try to fix the problem. And thank God, within perfect timing too.
You're good with that.
Thank God. See, when this happens, I do things
You always
fast.
have you have a backup.
So, anyways, what I was saying. Oh yeah. So, my dog. But yeah. So, I'm gonna have to. Okay. You know what, guys? I'll tell you this joke later because another day because of uh the the whole tech issue we had. So anyway, and today we're gonna do today I'll be talking about anime. So if you're a diehard anime fan and you wanna learn more of the whole concept of anime, what it is, um, how it was based on, and yada yada, uh, get your snacks and your drinks and enjoy the show. So first of all, before I begin the discussion on anime, we gotta first know that breaks end.
When I started playing.
No, I have. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, before we get into anime, um, I'm gonna give you two definitions. The first one is, or actually one, because anime comes from mangas. And what are mangas? Mangas is the Japanese comic book. Yeah, you should not say they're comic books, but they're comic books. And one of the thing about the mangas is that um you don't read them like we read comic books where you go from beginning to end. When you're reading a manga, you're reading it backwards. Yeah, kind of crazy, isn't it? It took me some time to understand the whole concept. Um, but I have some mangas. I have some shonen jumps, which are the bigger versions. And I one thing that I missed is reading the shonen jumps.
Apple, you can. They have their own app.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong on that. Anyway, so jumping onto the history of anime, this might probably be a mini series depending on my time, plus the amount, the plus the amount of time I took in dealing with the tech issue. So let's dive into the history of anime. So the history of anime can be traced back in back to the start of the 20th century, with the earliest verifiable films dating from the 1907, before before advent of films in Japan. They already had a rich tradition of entertainment with the colorful painted figures moving across the projection screen. In Utsushi, a particular Japanese type of magic lantern show popular in the 19th century, possibly inspired by the European phantasmagorian show. Utsushi Showman used mechanical size and developed lightweight wooden projectors, uh, known as furo, uh, that were handled so that several performers could each control the motion of different projected figures. The second generation of animators in the late 1910 included Oten Shimokawa, Junchiko Uchi, and Seito Kitayama, commonly referred to as the fathers of anime. Propaganda films as so much as no Umi, Umiwashi, oh, Umiwashi, Umi, oh, where was I? Give me a second, guys. Okay, Umiwashi in 1943, uh, and Momotaro Umi no Shinpei, the later, yeah, 1945, yeah, in 1945, the later begin the first anime and feature film were made during World War II, during the 1970s. Uh, Anime developed further inspiration of Disney animators, separating itself from its Western roots and developing these distinct genres such as mecha and its super robot subgenre. Typical shows from this period included Astro Boy, which Astro Boy is one of Tezuka Otsuka's greatest works. By the way, uh, he was also known as the god of anime. History facts. I'll talk about him later. Astro Boy, Lupin the Third, Messenger C, or in Japan it's called Messen Kaiser, uh, Messen Kaiser Seto. Um, During this period, several filmmakers became famous, especially Hayao Masaki and Mamoru Ushi. Oh, I remember hearing about Masaki. In the 1980s, anime became a mainstream of Japan, experiencing a boom in production with rise of popularity anime like Gundam, Macross, Dragon Ball, and genres such as Real Robot, Space Opera, and Cyberpunk. Space Battleship, uh, Yamato, and Super Dimension Fortress Macross also achieved worldwide success after being adapted, uh, adapted respectively as Star Blazer and Robotech. Now, here's the thing: is You hear a lot of Macross and Robotech. They're the same series, but I think Macross is the continuation of Robotech, if I'm not mistaken. In 1980, the film 1988, Akira went and becoming an international success. Oh man, Akira was a good. If you guys haven't seen Akira, I guys, you gotta see it. It's badass film. Trust me, you're gonna love it. In 1920, in 2004, the same creators produced Steam Boy. Oh, I didn't know that. Which became the most expensive anime film. Spirited Away shared the first prize at the 2002 Berlin Film Festival and won the 2003 Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Well, in a sense, Ghost in the Shell was featured at the 2004 Cannes Film Festival. Precursors. Okay, film in Japan had already several forms of entertainment based on storytelling and images. In Makimono and okay, and Kagi are considered the precur- uh, precursors of Japan of Japan animation. Emakimono was common in the 11th century. The traveling storytellers narrated legends and anecdotes. Well, the kimono was unrolled from the right to the left with chronological order as a moving panorama. Kaji, I meant to say Kaji, was popular during the Edo period. The original and originated from the show's Shadows play of China. Magic lanterns from the Netherlands were also popular in the 18th century. The paper play called Kamishibai, Kamishibai emerged in the 12th century and remained popular in the street theaters until the 1930s. Puppets of the Bunraku Theater and Ukiyo-e Prince are considered ancestors of characters of most of Japanese animations. Finally, manga were heavy inspirations from Japanese animation cartoonists Kitsawa Rakuten and Okamoto Ippei used film elements in their strips in the early 20th century. The origins of anime. Katsushi, Katsusha Shin, according to Natsuki Matsumoto, the first animated film produced in Japan, according to Natsuki Matsumoto. Oh, um, was first film. Okay, was first was first film in Japan. Sorry, I kinda lost my track there. May have steamed from as early as 1907, known as Katsuro Cheshin. Boy, I'm doing a lot of translation here from. I sound like a dictionary already. Actually, sorry, Dart, if you're hearing this. Sorry, dude. I'm afraid I'm taking your role. From its deception of a boy in a sailor suit
Yeah, he's not.
drawing.
He's not in the trade today.
Oh, damn,
Place at the time and stuff. He's probably still.
damn it, give me a stick. Oh well. Anyway,
Dirty wants me.
Chris? Oh crap, he's laughing. I bet. Where was I? Where was I? Talking about walking encyclopedias. I started to someone. I guess I just joined the herd. Sorry, guys, that was pony talk. I meant to say I just joined the crowd. So where was I? Where was I? Where was? Oh, okay. So from its description of a boy in a sailor suit, drawing the characters for Katsuro Shashin. The film was first found in 2005. It consists of 50 frames stenciled directly onto a strip of um, celluloid, and this claim has not been verified uh, through and predates the first known showing of animated films in Japan. The date and the first film publicly displayed is another source of connection. Well, no Japanese producer animation produced animation in definitively known to the date before 1916. The possibility exists that other films entered Japan and that known records have surfaced to prove a showing prior to 1912. Film titles have surfaced over the years, but none have been proven to predate in this year yet. The first foreign animation is known to be found in Japan in 1910, but it is not clear if the film was ever shown in a cinema or publicly displayed at all. Yasushi Watanabe found a film known as Fujiji no Fujiji no no. Where am I? Ah, give me a second, guys. Fujijino Borado. In these records of Yoshizawa Shotton Company, the description will match James Blackton's humor faces of faces through the academic um, consensus on whether or not this is a true animated film. It is disputed. According to Kyoko Yoshiyama, the first animated film called Niparu no Henki um, Hikaru or Nipparo transformation was shown in Japan at Asakusa Asakusa Teikukan in Tokyo sometime in 1912. However, Yoshiyama did not refer to the film as animation. The first confirmed animated film shown in Japan was less ex- exploits the few Follett by Emile Cole on May 15, 1912. While speculation of a trick films have been fun in Japan, it is the first recorded account of public showing of a two-dimensional animated film in Japanese cinema. During this time, German animators market for home release were distributed in Japan. In 1914, US and Europe cartoons were introduced to Japan, inspiring Japanese creators like Yunchi Kouchi and Seitaro Kitayama, both whom were considered the fathers of anime. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay, Namakura Katana or Hanawa Hekun, uh, Hekunai Meito no Maki, a short Japanese animated film produced by Yunchi Kouchi in 1917. A few complete animations were made during the beginning of the Japanese animation have survived. The reasons vary, but many are of commercial nature. After the clips had been run, reels being property of the cinemas were sold um, to smaller cinemas in the country and then disassembled and sold as strips or single frames. And the earliest anime that was produced in Japan to um, have been survived into the modern day. The Dual Sword was released on June 30, 1917, but there is disputed which title was the first to get that honor. It has been confirmed that the Kobo Shinkatocho main no Shipai or uh, uh, Bumpy New Picture Book Failure of a Great Plan was made sometime during February 1917. At least two unconfirmed titles were reported to have been made the previous month. Hey, Arctic Knuckles, welcome into the Leon's Corner. How are you doing? What? Go ahead. The first anime short film were made by leading figures in the industry. Oten Shimokawa was a political caric- uh, caricaturist and cartoonist who worked for the magazine of Tokyo Puck. He was hired by Tenkatsu to do an animation for them. Due to medical reasons, he was only able to do five movies, including Imokawa Mukutsu, Genkan, Genkan no Maki in 1917. Before he returned to his previous work as a cartoonist, another prominent animator in the period was Junichi Kouchi. He was a caricaturist and painter who also had studied watercolor and painting in 1912. He was also entered the cartoonist sector and was hired for an animation by Kobayashi Shokai later in 1916. He is viewed as the most technically advanced Japanese animator in 1910. His works include around 50 movies. The third was Seitaro Kitayama, an early animator who made animations on his own and was not hired. Where was it? Uh, he was not hired by larger corporations. He was eventually found his own animation studio, the Kitayama Eiga Eiga Seisakuyo, who was later closed, which was later closed due to lack of commercial success. He utilized the chalkboard technique and later paper animation, with and without pre-painted backgrounds. However, the works of those pioneers were destroyed after the Great Catan earthquake of 1923. The works of these two later pioneers included Namakura Gantana, which it's an obtuse sword in 1917, and a film, 1919 film Urashima Taro, which were believed to have been discovered together at an antique market in 2007. However, the Shirima Taro was later proved to most likely be different film of the same story than the 1918 by Oki by Kitayama, which as October 2017 remains undiscovered. Pre-war productions 1923 through 1939. Yasuji Murata had Hakusan Kimura, Sen Yamamoto, and Noboru of Fuji were students of Kitayama Seitaro and worked at his studio Kitsumasu Masaoka and another important animators worked at the smaller animation studio. Many early animated Japanese films were lost after 1923 Tokyo earthquake, including the including destroyed most of the Kitayama studio, which artists are trying to incorporate traditional and motifs and stories into a new form. Pre-war animators faced several difficulties. First, they had to complete the foreign producers such as Disney, which were influential on both audiences and producers. Foreign films had already made a profit abroad and could be undersold in the Japanese market. Pricing lower than the domestic producers need to break even. Japanese animators thus had to work cheaply. In all small companies, which only a few handful employees, which then made it difficult to compete in terms of quality with foreign products that was in color with sound and promoted by bigger companies. Until the mid 1930s, robot robotic ace, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? Um, so- okay. Until the mid 30s, okay. Here was I. Until the mid 30s, Japanese animation generally succeeds. No, generally used cut animation instead of cell animation because the celluloid was too expensive, and this result in animation that could seem derivative flat since motion forward and backward was difficult and without detail. But just post-war Japanese animators were able to turn limited animation into plus. So masters such as Yasushi Murata and Noboru Fuji were able to perform wonders that they made with cut cutout animation. Animators such as Kenzo Masaoka and Mitsuyo Seo, however, did not attempt to bring Japanese animation up to the level of foreign work by introducing cell animation, sounds and technologies such as multiplying camera. Masaoka created the first um, Toki anime, Chi- Chikakara to Ona no Jononaka, released in 1933, and the first anime made early using cell animation that dance to Dance of Chagmas in 1934. Seo was the first to use the multiple camera in Arichan in 1941. Such innovations, however, were difficult to support purely commonly commercially. So pre-war animation depended considerably on sponsorship, as animators often created to make no making um, PR films for companies, educational films for the government, and eventually work for propaganda for the military. During this time, censorship and school regulations discouraged film viewing by children, so anime that could possess educational value was supported and encouraged by Monobosho, the Ministry of Education. This proved important for producers that have experienced obstacles relating to um, just uh, produce obstacles releasing their work in regular theaters. Theaters. Oh, hey, Inception. It was, but I thought because it's cool. That's cool. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome, Inception. Welcome. Hey, everyone. Let's welcome the one and only master of the pancakes, king of pancakes. Shit, I felt that. So this proved important for producers that had experience of obstacles of releasing their work in regular theaters. I know I read that, but hey, animation had found a place in scholastic and political and industrial use. During the Second World War, in 1930, the Japanese government began enforcing cultural nationalism. This also led to strict censorship and control of published uh, media. Media. Many animators were urged to produce animation that enforced the Japanese spirit and national affiliation. Some movies were shown in newsreel the theatres, especially after the film law of 1939 promoted documentary and other educational films, such as support help boost the industry as bigger companies formed through mergers and from major live action studios such as a Shokiku to begin producing animation. It was a Shokiku, Shochiku. Sorry if I butchered that name because I don't have my Japanese. Man, I gotta look for my Japanese translation dictionary because these words are kind of getting me. Anyway, where was I? Oh man, give me a second here. Let me Oh, okay. So that such masterworks as Kenzo Masaoka's Kumo to Chur- Churipu were produced wartime recognition of the industry, however, merged the feature film studios into three big companies. During the Second World War, more animated films were commissioned by the Imperial Japanese Army, and I think I know which ones were involved. Anyway, showing the side quick Japanese people winning against enemy forces. This includes films such as My Maisuyo sells Momotaro Umi no Shippei or Momotaro's Divine Sea Warriors, which focused
Oh,
on.
Sour Candy.
Hmm?
Inception, James Sour Candy.
All right, all right, Inception. Finally, I got a challenge. So this is hookers. I'm just gonna do this. Dang it, I hate this opening these packages. Give me a second, guys. Remind me to pull out my scissors. Looks like it's blueberry, but I'm not sure. So anyway, bottoms up. Okay, so during the Second World War, more animated films were commissioned by the Imperial. Wait a second, I think. Did I read that?
I think I know which ones.
Okay. Sorry. Post-war environment. In the post-war years, Japanese media was often influenced by the thanks Robotica Ace for the hype. Japanese media was often influenced by the United States, leading some to define anime as.
He also didn't because of being the sour candy boy, what you need to hydrate to. Inception, that was his trolling.
Pancake. This is for you, Pancaking. All right. Okay. So, right. So, Japanese media was often influenced by the United States, leading some to define anime as any animation emanating from Japan after 1945. While anime and manga began to flourish in the 1940s and 1950s with foreign films and layouts by American cartoonists influenced people such as Osamu Tezuka, again, the god of anime. He was, if you guys remember from what I said earlier, he did pioneer American American animation style, and he actually um, brought it back to Japan. The ideas back to Japan, and yes, he was influenced by Disney. Believe it or not, I actually didn't know that. But if you think, I'm stopping here right now for a sec to explain this. But if you guys didn't know, and you guys hear of an anime called Kimba the White Lion, you might be able to tell, you can tell that it does have a similarity with the Lion King. Uh, However, the Lion King didn't come out in the 30s, but there is a similarity in storyline and also in character names. A good example would be the main hero, Kimba. And if you match Kimba, the name, doesn't that strikes you as Simba? Kimba, Simba. Again, I know the Lion King was made later on, but yeah, like I said, there were some ideas that came from Kimba the White Lion. So you might, there might be a split siding where the Lion King may be a ripoff of Kimba the White Lion, or were there Kimba the White Lion's a ripoff of the Lion King? However, that's not entirely true. Again, the Lion King came out in the 1990s,
And it had more of an African
it
story.
had more of an African story. So so the idea actually came from Kimba the White Lion.
There was a lot that got influences.
So
And to
so it was I would say it was a joint effort in a sense. I mean, both styles were influenced on each other. Okay, so in the 1950s, wait, yeah, in the 1950s, the anime studios began a set up. Welcome in, first time chatter. Oh, sorry if I butchered your name. I'm trying to get used to names, so I'm reading Japanese names and uh, uh, anyway, um, where was I with all this? Okay, so here we go. In the 1950, anime studios began appearing across Japan. Hiroshi Takahata brought a studio named Japan Animated Films in 1948, renaming it Toei. Oh, so Toei Animations began in 1948. Interesting.
yeah, it did.
Let's see, Toei Daga, Toei Daga, with an ambition to become the Disney of the East. Well, there, nice one. Uh, Takahata met other animators such as Yasushiji Mori who directed Duddling Kitty in May 1957. However, for the Japanese public, it wasn't until
And
how am I doing?
you're doing good. And you're gonna be passing it soon.
Oh shit! So yeah, this is gonna be a mini series.
Yeah.
Hey, but I did a quick recovery. Told you I just
Like
needed
that.
a few
Yeah.
minutes. um. Yeah. However, for the Japanese public, it wasn't until the release of Panada and the Magic Serpent in October 1958 that Japan fully entered into the world of professional animation. While animators began to experiment with their own styles using Western techniques, Tetsuko Suma began drawing shonen manga like Rob no Kishi, Knight of the Ribbon, which later became Princess Knight. Wow. Trying to appeal to female readers while also pioneering shoujo manga. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to give you these terms later on, guys, because there's a lot that we need to. Anyway, Toei Animation and Mushi Productions. Toei Animation and Mushi Productions were founded and pronounced the first color anime feature film in 1958. Hakujaden, Hakujaden, the Tale of the White Serpent in 1958. It was released in the US in 1961, as well as Panada and the Magic Serpent. After the success of the project, Toei released a new feature-length film, animation annually. Toei's style was characterized by an emphasis of each animator bring his own ideas to the production. The most extreme examples of this ah, is Isao Takahata's film Hours Prince of the Sun, or Horus is often seen as the first major break from the normal anime in style and the beginning of a later movement of altruistic or progressive anime, which would eventually involve directors such as Hayao Miyazaki. I remember him. Oh yeah, of course, creator of Spirit Away and Mamoru Oshii. Citation needed. A major contributor to Toei's style of modern anime was development of the money shot.
Oh,
Ooh.
this
All right, robotic ace. Here we go. I'm gonna try to do two. So the first one is uh, I just come to America to make my life, but sue me if not. And hmm, Jimmy, you better get your back here. You to walk the me or else you're out. Two of my favorite voices, the our beloved Hindu, which is one of my favorite characters, and I would like to bring, and of course, Jodor's The Godfather. That one's a bit kind of, eh, trust me, it took me a while to get that Godfather's voice. Oh, so those style to the modern anime development of the money shot. This cutting method of animation allows for emphasis to be placed in unim- unimportant shots by animating them with more detail than the rest of the work, which would often be limited animation. Toei Animation Jasho Otsuka began to experiment with this style, developed its further as he went into onto television. In the 1980s, Toei would later lend its talents to companies like Sunbow Productions, Marvel Productions, and Dick Entertainment. Murakami Wolf Son Ruby Spears, and Hanna-Barbera producing several animated cartoons for America during this period. Other studios like TMS Entertainment were also beginning to being used in 1980 in the 1980s, which led to Asian studios being used more often to animate foreign productions, but the companies involved still produce anime for their native Japan. There we go. Osamu Tezuka established Mushi Productions in 1961 after Tezuka's contract with Toei Animation expired. The studio pioneered TV animation in Japan and was responsible for no, I need to clean my coffee. Okay, here we go. So someone Tezuka established Masashi Productions in 1961 again. After the Tezuka's contract with Toei Animation expired, the studio pioneered TV animation in Japan and was responsible for such successful TV series Astro Boy, Kimba the White Lion, Goku no Daiboken, and Princess Knight. Moshi Productions also also produced the first anime to be broadcast in the United States on NBC in 1963. Although Osamu Tezuka would complain about the restrictions on the U.S. television and the alterations necessary for broadcast. In the 1960s, the unique style of Japanese anime began forming with large-eyed, big mouth, and large-head characters. The first anime film to be broadcast was movie Moving Pictures in 1960 and 1961 saw the premiere of Japan's first animated television series, Instant History, although it did not consist entirely of animation. Magic Boy, known in Japan as Shonen Sarutobi Sasuke, the boy Sarutobi Sasuke is a 1959 Japanese animated feature film released on December 25, 1959, released as Toei Animation's second theatrical anime. The film was released in making released in theaters in the United States by Metro Goldwyn Mayer on June 22, 1961, making it's the first anime film to be released in the country, followed by The Tale of White Serpent on July 8, 1961. These films were these films were popular enough, and they paved the way of other anime to follow. Astro Boy, created by Osamu Tezuka, premiered on Fuji TV on January 1963. It became the first anime series shown widely to Western audience, especially those in the United States, becoming relatively popular and influencing the U.S. Popular culture, with American companies acquiring various titles from Japanese producers. Astro Boy was highly influential to other anime in the 1960s and was followed by a large number of anime about robots or space. While Tezuka released many other animated films like Jungle Emperor and Leo, anime took up. Studios saw it was commercial success, even though no new programs from Japan were shown in major U.S. broadcast media from the later 1960s to 1970s. The 1960s also brought anime to television in America. 1963 introduced Senin Buraku as the first late-night anime, and Doga's first anime television series, Wolf Boy Ken Mushi Pro continued to produce more anime television made successful titles such as Kimba the White Lion in 1965 was what it noted as the first what as the first magical girl anime. Sally the which began broadcasting in 1966. The original Speed Racer. Oh man, I missed that one. The original Speed Racer anime um, Give me a second, guys. Uh, yeah, the original Speed Racer anime television began in. Wait, again. Oh no, sorry. Television began. I just. Television began in 1967 and was brought to the West with great success. At the same time, an anime adaptation of Tezuka's Princess Knight aired, making it one of very few shoujo anime of the decade. The first anime adaptation of Shotaro Ishinomori's manga Cyber 009 was created in 1968 following the film adaptation of 2 years prior, 1969 Attack Attack No One. Yeah, yeah. No, of course. Yeah. Okay, the first shoujo sports anime was one of the first that had success in Japan. Prime time and was also popular through Europe, particularly in Germany under the name Mila Superstar. The long-running Sensei-san anime also began in 1969 and continued today with excess of 6,500 episodes broadcast as of 2014 with an audience shared by popular um, anime broadcast. The 1970s, the release of space battleship Yamato is often cited as the beginning of the anime space operas. During 1970, the Japanese film market no, shrank due to the shrank. Sorry, guys. The market shrank due to the competition from television. This reduced Toei animation staff, and many animators went to studios such as April, Telecom Animation, Mushi Productions went bankrupt, though the studio was revived 4 years later. Its former employees funding studios such as Madhouse. Oh, really? Oh yeah, Madhouse Japan. Now I remember Cyber Suit. Okay, studios such as Madhouse and Sunrise. Many young animators were thrust into the position of director and injection of young talent allowed for a wide variety of experimentation. The earliest successful television productions in the 1970s was Joe, a boxing. Is it Ashita no Joe? Sounds like it. Dude, tomorrow's show. That sounds like Ashita no Joe.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. Tomorrow's show. Where was it? A boxing anime. Yeah, yeah, it is Ashita no Joe. Which has become iconic in Japan in, in 1971 was the first installment of the Lupin the Third anime. What? Contrary to the franchise, current popularity of the first series ran 23 episodes before being cancelled. The second series, starting in 1977, saw considerably more success, passing 155 episodes over the years. I guess they're talking about a shit ton of show. Uh, Another example of experimentation is Asao Takahata's 1974 television series Heidi Grow of the Alps. Oh, Heidi. That sounds familiar. Heidi. This show was originally a hard sell because it was simply a realistic drama aimed at children, and most networks told children needed something more fantastic to draw them in. Haiti was an influential success, popular in many European countries and so successful in Japan, and it allowed for Miyazaki and Takahata to start a series of literary based anime world masterpiece theater. Miyazaki and Takahata left Nippon Animations Nippon Animation in the late 1970s. Two of Miyazaki's critically acclaimed productions during the 1970s were Future Boy Conan and Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro. Ah, yeah, Lupin. I missed the show. During this period, Japanese animation reached continental, continental Europe, which productions acclaim at the European and Japanese children with the most pronounced examples beginning at the aforementioned Haiti, but also Barbappa and Vicky the Viking, Italy, Spain, and France. How much did I go?
It's like 17. All
right, so um, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna give you some anime facts now. Okay, anime history facts. Did you know that the anime goes over 100 years back? It is not just influential, but it did know that. Wait. What am I saying? Hang on, guys. Oh, but it boasts an impressive history as well as learn more about it. Hmm? was I? Oh, right. One. Uh, Namakura. Namakura Katana is the earliest surviving anime. Let's see. Uh,
Joey's asking.
oh, hey Joey, I'm doing good. You? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I didn't.
Oh,
Hey, first time chatter, Joey. Glad having you here in Leon's Corner.
good organization.
And also all the fellow Raider Nation fan. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, let's face it. Anime wouldn't be where it is today if it weren't for its history, consisting of older, fairly unknown animes. Namakura Katana, a short made in 1917, is one of the most relevant examples. While Sailor Moon is definitely the most popular anime, stats show that it's not the first of its sort. It's the first episode aired in 1992, but the genre is considered older. Hmm. Oh yeah, it is an old genre.
It is. The genre style that are moving forward.
It is. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it was the first time I really got into anime as a whole.
Ah, here's a good one. Did you know that Bleach almost got scraped? It was originally pitched for Shonen Jump and the biggest manga magazine, but was rejected. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Then Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, suddenly stepped in. He saw great potential in Bleach, so he wrote a letter to Ted Kubo, its creator, hoping he would continue working on it. Nevertheless, oh, good. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it took another influential, you say, creator and director to get Bleach to keep going.
Anime Facts claim that 50 were specially made for this film. Most watch animes. So it made anime to watch so little time. Have you ever wondered what's the number of one anime in the world, or what is the anime popularity in the country? Um, you'll find out this more. Okay, never mind. I just read the wrong thing. Okay, Dragon Ball is among the most popular, if not the most popular shonen anime in the world. Hey, you guys gotta agree. You guys gotta agree with me. Dragon Ball is the most trending. However, however,
Make an announcement that then the next couple weeks, that the Geek Life podcast is going to do a discussion on anime between the two of us.
Okay, guys, this just came in. In the next couple weeks, the Geek Life podcast will do an anime um discussion. Uh, to
And it'll be a discussion between both of
and it'll be a discussion between the both of us on
I haven't figured the date yet.
that date is to be announced, so just stay um uh just stay put on that. I mean, uh, just keep your eye on it. Okay. There's a good one. Oh wait, I
Actually,
didn't
yeah,
finish the
it'll
Dragon
be,
Ball
it'll
one.
be the 12th. It'll be
Okay, it's gonna be on the 12th. So guys, on the 12th, the Geek Live show kicks in with the discussion of anime. All right, so let's see. Uh, what's the most popular anime worldwide? It's probably Dragon Ball, widely considered to be the big shonen as well, anime as well. Shonen anime have a particular.
start wrapping.
All right, guys. Sadly enough, it's time for me to start handing uh, the express to our next writer. So,
Robotic Aids.
who is Robotic Case? So,
Make sure
make sure
biscuits
your
are warm.
biscuits are warm. Get ready. Uh, show them the same love you showed me. And
I'll put through once the tag is over.
so,
I can but it's because Robotic Aids already lives.
all right.
And it's 9:26, so yeah, it's good time.
10 minutes, 4
Yeah.
minutes. Well,
If you do it, we could continue more on your podcast plus the next stream. It's past. End it.
all right.
Yeah.
I know. Just give me a sec.